Jack Russell, the singer who led the popular 1980s hard rock band Great White as well as a spin-off group, which set off one of the deadliest nightclub fires of all time, died on August 7 at a family member's home in Southern California. He was 63. The cause of death was Lewy body dementia and multiple system atrophy, said K.L. Doty, who collaborated with Mr. Russell on his autobiography. Mr. Russell's death was announced in a post on his official Instagram profile on Thursday and confirmed by Ms. Doty. Great White also paid tribute to his death on its Instagram page. Sadly, his legacy is more tragic. His spin-off group, Jack Russell's Great White, was performing at the Station Nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island, in February 2003 when their pyrotechnics sparked a fire that killed 100 people in one of the worst disasters of its kind in U.S. history. Russell wasn't charged, but the band agreed to pay a $1 million settlement, and the stress took a heavy toll on the singer and other members of the band, who split in 2005, but reformed in various guises before he posted on Instagram in July that he was retiring on health grounds. Mr. Russell founded Great White with the guitarist Mark Kendall. The band, originally called Dante Fox, began playing in small clubs in Southern California in the early 1980s. It changed its name to Great White in 1984 and had its first big hit in 1987, when Rock Me reached the number 60 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Jack Russell, the singer who led the popular 1980s hard rock band Great White as well as a spin-off group, which set off one of the deadliest nightclub fires of all time, died on August 7 at a family member's home in Southern California. He was 63. Great White found success with its third album, which featured its biggest hit, Once Bitten Twice Shy. The song climbed to number 5 in 1989 and earned the band a Grammy nomination. Mr. Russell briefly left Great White in 1996 to pursue a solo career. He returned in 1999, but by 2001, Great White had disbanded. In 2002, Mr. Russell and Mr. Kendall hired 3 new musicians and began playing in small clubs as Jack Russell's Great White. In February 2003, while the band was performing at the Station Nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island, its pyrotechnics ignited a deadly fire that killed 100 people, including Great White's guitarist, Ty Longley, and left 230 injured. It was one of the worst nightclub fires in U.S. history. The 2 brothers who owned the club, and who installed the highly flammable soundproofing foam around its stage, were charged in connection with the fire, as was the band's tour manager, who lit the blaze. Mr. Russell was not charged, but members of the band agreed to pay a $1 million settlement. By 2005, Jack Russell's Great White had disbanded after the stress from lawsuits, inner band turmoil and Russell's substance abuse problems had taken its toll, according to AllMusic Guide. In 2013, nearly a decade after the fire, he told the Boston Globe, "It's been almost 10 years, and no matter what I say it's never going to make anybody feel any better about it, and sometimes it might make them feel worse, so I really would rather not say too much, you know." Great White reunited in 2007, although the reunion was short-lived. Mr. Russell continued making music with Jack Russell's Great White but announced in an Instagram post in July that he was retiring because of his health problems. "I am unable to perform at the level I desire and at the level you deserve, Mr. Russell wrote. Words cannot express my gratitude for the many years of memories, love, and support." Jack Patrick Russell was born on December 5, 1960, in Montebello, California. He grew up in Whittier, California and dropped out of high school to pursue music. Great White peaked in the late 1980s and early 1990s with a cover of Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Russell was performing with his spin-off band, Jack Russell's Great White, at the packed West Warwick Club when the band's pyrotechnics ignited soundproofing foam in the walls of the building. The fire was one of the deadliest in U.S. history. In the beginning of the autobiography published just weeks before his death, Russell offered an apology to the families of the victims. Russell's apology to Station Nightclub fire victims. "I'm sorry for every gentle embrace of love no longer possible and that you dread every 20th of February for more reasons than ice and snow. That birthdays and sunsets and good news are things you cannot share. That plans and dreams were not fulfilled. That hell walks with you, Russell wrote. I'm sorry that it wasn't me. Criminal charges were brought against the club owners Jeff and Michael Derderian, along with the band's tour manager Daniel Beachiel. Michael Derderian and Beachiel served time in prison. Rhode Island implemented stricter fire codes as a result of the tragedy. Great White said in a Facebook post that Russell had an unmatched love for rock music. Russell was with Great White from 1981 until 1996, then took some time off to record and release his first solo album, entitled Shelter Me, having rejoined shortly after its release until the band broke up in 2001. He then tried touring solo under his own name briefly, then changed the band name to Jack Russell's Great White, and toured from 2002 to 2005, while also releasing his second solo album For You in 2002. On February 20, 2003, while touring as Jack Russell's Great White, they played a club gig at the station in West Warwick, Rhode Island, where a deadly fire caused by pyrotechnics occurred, leading to the deaths of 100 people including band member Ty Longley. In 2006, he began touring with the official Great White Band when they reformed with their classic lineup, but left the band in 2009 due to a fall in his bathroom where he cracked 2 vertebrae and herniated a disc. He had multiple back surgeries and was using a plethora of pain medication. Having fallen into alcoholism, the sudden death of his good friend Yanni Lane of Warrant propelled him to get help and become sober. Fully recovered, he started touring again as Jack Russell's Great White in December 2011 to avoid confusion with the still touring official Great White Band, which had continued onward in 2009 with a different singer following Russell's departure. In 2012, Russell guest-starred on VH1 Classics, That Metal Show, where he revealed his side of the Great White story, and how he was feeling well and ready for more. In 2017, Jack Russell's Great White released their first album titled He Saw It Comin'. In August 2021, Jack Russell's Great White released a sequel to Great White's 1998 tribute album to Led Zeppelin titled Great Zeppelin II, a tribute to Led Zeppelin. In July 2021, a cover of Whole Lotta Love was released. In January 2024, Russell released a collaboration album with LA Guns guitarist Tracii Guns, titled Medusa. This was Russell's final studio recording before his retirement and death. The consistency of his live performances were always beyond comparison, the band said. Rest in peace, to one of rock's biggest champions. He is survived by his wife, Heather Ann Russell, and his son, Matthew Hucko.